the size of this. And there's the white smoke.
Yes.
The white smoke means that they've chosen a peace deal. A new
Thanks
peace
for
deal.
the FIFA hat.
Yeah, do you like it?
There you go.
Yes, it's awesome.
That's the sign. It's happening.
So, as you heard there, a deal has been reached with Iran, and this is going to spell absolute doom for the Democrat Party. But before we get into that, let's talk about what just happened on Uncle Trump's birthday. Check it out.
For oil to start flowing again, sending stocks soaring.
And we have team coverage for you this morning. We have Aisha Hasni. She is live in Geneva, Switzerland, with how this will impact the G7 summit. But first, we're going to start with Trey Yingst. He is live in Israel with the latest on this historic peace deal. Trey.
Yeah, hey guys, good morning. After more than 100 days in a state of war, a deal has been reached between the United States and Iran. President Trump taking to Truth Social overnight saying, quote, "This great deal will bring peace and security to the whole region. Many presidents have tried to make peace with Iran and all have failed before me. The leaders of the region have, for the first time, found a president who can help them achieve real peace." With the opening of the strait upon the signing of the deal on Friday, for purposes of mine removal, oil will flow on both ends again for the region and the world. A signing ceremony is set to take place on Friday in Geneva, Switzerland. Before the deal was signed, it was nearly derailed. The Israelis targeted Hezbollah with strikes in the Lebanese capital of Beirut. Iranian officials immediately vowed to respond with missile fire toward Israel. A diplomat with knowledge of the situation told Fox News that Qatari mediators stayed in Tehran conducting intensive negotiations coordinated with the United States. Vice President Vance described to Fox News what those final moments were like before the agreement was reached. Could you take us behind the scenes of what that moment was like leading up to this deal actually being signed?
After the Israelis struck Beirut, we were very worried, and we saw a lot of evidence that the Iranians were going to launch a large number of missiles at the Israelis. With our communication with them over the course of getting to this signed peace deal, they assured us that they were not going to respond to the Israelis, and they were going to sign this agreement and get to peace. Now, of course, you always have to verify these things, Trey, and we know that there are a lot of people in the Middle East who do not want to make this deal happen.
I spoke with President Trump before the deal was reached, and he was optimistic about what this agreement means for the region. The president also got directly involved to ensure that the Iranians didn't launch missiles at Israel and derail the deal. Guys?
Hey, Trey, the problem is the IRGC had Bahidi. He is now in charge, the 67-year-old guy who we already have sanctions on. And this is the guy that evidently is pushing back against the foreign minister and others who are negotiating with us. So we're trying to get a deal with Iran who's not trustworthy. And within Iran, they have disagreements on what to do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There is a real division inside the Iranian regime. And I think back to last week when the president spoke from the Situation Room with Fox News, and he and the vice president described how they've had to navigate this difficult reality inside of Iran. You have these relatively more moderate voices like the parliament speaker Kalibov and also the president Masoud Pezeshkian, but then you have these hardliners in the IRGC that want to continue the war against the United States. And it's important to remember here, not only during Operation Epic Fury was the Iranian military decimated, those production lines that give those individuals in the IRGC the ability to restock their missile and drone supply were also destroyed. And so the Iranians have much less leverage than they had 3 months ago. Also, it's important to note the Iranians didn't get what they want out of the negotiations. Remember, they entered into these talks with the United States demanding that all U.S. forces leave bases across the Middle East, and they didn't get that. Ultimately, U.S. forces will stay in Bahrain, where the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet is based. And also, you have a situation where there are other locations, including the Al Udeid base in Qatar, where thousands of U.S. forces will remain. And so the president maintains the ability to use military force if the Iranians step back from the agreement, but also worked out within this deal is leverage on the regime. They're not going to get sanctions relief unless they adhere to their end of the deal. And that means keeping the Strait of Hormuz open for the free flow of international shipping, and also entering into these detailed discussions that will ultimately dilute or destroy the highly enriched uranium that is buried deep underground inside of Iranian territory.
A deal has been reached, and it is wonderful, absolutely wonderful for a multitude of reasons, but here is one of those reasons. Check it out.
Inflation to come down between now and
when the war is over?
Yes.
It's coming down.
I know you can't.
It's going to come down like a rock. And again, we're taking out millions, which I'm just announcing today for the first time. But we've been taking out millions of barrels of oil. Millions of barrels. Every night we took out oil. But now I'm going to tell you because they just figured it out. So now that they figured it out, I can tell you. It was very hard for me. I wanted to say it so badly, but I didn't want to ruin it, but it was very hard. But millions of barrels of oil has come out, and that's why it's at $85, $90 a barrel instead of $250. But we have the greatest military in the world, the toughest military in the world, just the best in every way. Nobody even close. There's no military that's even close. I rebuilt it during my first term. I'm using it now. When this conflict is over, Todd said, please go to conflict, right, as opposed to the word war. He didn't like the word war, but it's sort of a conflict. It's a military operation. When it's over, you will see oil drop to where it was before.
Yeah, and he is correct, because that is exactly what prices are currently on track to do.
Nationwide average for gases dipped below $4 a gallon as road trip season heats up. Elizabeth Schulze is at a gas station in Washington, D.C. Good morning to you, Elizabeth.
Good morning to you, Robin. Oil prices are sharply lower this morning on news of that deal to reopen shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. And already we are seeing some relief here at the gas pump. The national average for a gallon of regular gas now $3.99. It's the first time it's been below $4 since April, and about half.
So gas prices already beginning to drop overnight, instantly. Okay. And the deal was just struck, okay, was just done. And so this is one of the things that Democrats have been relying on, is, saying that the gas prices and the war and, oh, Trump said no more wars and blah, blah, blah. And now that is basically taken off the table. And Democrats were already struggling in the polls, already struggling. Even CNN had to admit it, and I don't think CNN's numbers are quite correct, but check it out.
I mean, just take a look here. Okay, this is Congress National June polls, Dem leads, and this is NBC News, midterm years with the GOP press. Look at this. They're up by 5 points, but that's half the lead they had back in 2018 when it was 10 points, and less than half the lead they had back in 2006 with 11 points when Democrats took back the House in both of those years. And now the Democratic lead is on a single hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. And it's this type of lead where you say, you know what, Democrats are ahead, but don't count your chickens just quite yet.
And Harry, we've been talking about this. As time goes on, you and I have kept on looking at these numbers saying it just doesn't look like the numbers we've seen when there have been waves for Democrats in the past. What are the trends in the other polls?
Yeah, okay, so this is not just one poll in which we are seeing this. There is this group of pollsters that are out there that are just not showing the wave you might expect given where the president's approval rating is. Okay, what are we talking about? We're talking about NBC, Marquette University Law School, and Ipsos. Look at where they were January and February, and look at where they are May and June. NBC, down a point. MU Law, down 3 points. Ipsos, basically staying the same. So the Democrats hold these leads, but again, you have this group of pollsters that are out there where this lead, simply put, is not matching what you might expect if you're expecting a Democratic wave.
And that's sort of in a vacuum.
Now, I want to highlight something. Some of these pollsters are the same pollsters who were telling us before the 2024 election that Kamala Harris was up in the polls and she was leading. We all know how that turned out. She lost every single swing state and lost a popular vote, which a Republican hadn't won in over 2 decades. But the pollsters all said that she was projected to win. You guys remember the famous Iowa poll? Oh my goodness, Ann Seltzer. Oh my goodness, Trump's going to lose Iowa. Kamala's going to win. No! Didn't work. So, not only that, But now, even them, they're having to drop their numbers from 4 to 1, from 6 to 5. This one's 3 and 3, but still, even they're dropping their numbers. And now, gas prices are about to be down, which brings the cost of everything down, because obviously fuel is a cost that is baked into, the price of goods, because it takes fuel to get anything anywhere. So gas prices are about to be down, which is what people, I know it sounds simplistic, but one of the things that I feel like I've learned, dealing with politics, is that if gas prices are pretty good, you're more than likely going to win the election. If they're bad, though, you about to catch hell. Okay? With Joe Biden, they were horrible. Amongst other things, right? There was a lot of other things going on as well, but gas prices were absolutely terrible. And once these gas prices come down with Uncle Trump, I think we got to win in the bag. Now, obviously, we still got to show up and vote. We still got to show up. All of this means a hill of beans if we don't show up and vote. But if we do show up the way that we're supposed to, and gas prices are down, we win. And that's exactly where it looks like we're heading right now. I mean, gas prices have already absolutely plummeted overnight, and that is just less than 24 hours after the deal has been struck, and they will continue to drop as, more and more ships are able to get to where they need to get to. So yeah, good stuff on the horizon. The Senate poll has shifted back into our favor. So it looks like we're going to keep the Senate. And now it looks like we're going to keep the House as well. So that is going to be absolutely fantastic. And it's going to be interesting to watch the Democrat fallout from this, because, of course, people like Hakeem Jeffries have been out here saying, oh, yeah, we're focused on winning the midterms. We're going to win regardless. And it's like, no, you're not. And when it does happen, it's going to be interesting to watch the infighting go on. Because, of course, the far leftists, the AOCs, the Bernie Sanders, the Graham Plattners of the world are going to be really, really angry at the establishment Democrats like Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries. They're going to be very, very angry at them. And there's going to be a tug of war inside the Democrat Party to see who gets to control where the Democrat Party goes. And I have a sneaky suspicion that the AOCs and the Bernie Sanders, the far left, the extreme left of the party, will win that battle. Which is great for us because on a national scale, right, they aren't going to win. They're not very liked nationwide. In little small local elections, maybe they win a few of those, but for the most part, they're going to lose elections. You need middling Democrats in order to win elections versus good Republicans. And obviously, the AOCs and the Bernie Sanders and Graham Plattners of the world are not middling Democrats. They are far leftists, extreme leftists. So that's going to be interesting to watch. But as always, let me know your thoughts and your opinions. If you agree, if you disagree, let me know. Stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.